Hoop fans, what's going on? Tendai here, back again with another episode of Shot Clock Scribbles, episode number 4. I am your host today. It's Wednesday, November 5th, over here on the West Coast around 4 p.m. We've got a lot of material to go over today. Keep in mind that some of this material was written on Monday and Tuesday, some of it today on Wednesday as well. Topics we're going to go over today: good and bad teams that picked that up from last week's pod, speak about Ja's situation in Memphis and one bright spot for them, the Orlando Magic's not so great start, despite being one of the favorites out of the East. Recap some of the games on Monday as I was more dialed in than the emergency line. Run a fan favorite and run the numbers where we get analytical. Since we're in Sacramento, we got a King's Corner update for you guys and my prediction on their 5-game homestand here in the city of trees and teas. What's coming up next? You don't want to be a square and miss it. Let's get to it. First section of the pod, good and bad teams will pick up where we left off last week. The good, although this team was in the bad last week, the Rockets have turned things around. They've gone undefeated since the last pod was created on the 28th, beating the Celtics, Mavs, and others, and sit up 4-2. The bad, some longtime contenders are struggling. That's the Celtics, and the Pacers were on our bad list the other week. But since then, the Celtics are roughly 500. The Pacers are 1-3. Showing a little bit of consistency as we move forward. The Pelicans and Nets look particularly out of sorts in New Orleans, and Joe Dumars' draft night gamble backfired. The team traded away a 2026 unprotected first-round pick to move up in the lottery, and that's just one of the worst decisions I've ever seen in basketball. Why would you do that? I don't quite understand it at all. The Pelicans then took Maryland's Derek Queen, who had a great game yesterday, by the way, on Tuesday with the win over Charlotte. He had 12 points. He went 5 for 7 from the field and went to line 4 times, notching in 3 of those. Love the interaction with DJ, letting the young man know he's going to stand up for his post-game conferences, and commentators in the space like Bill Simmons have called what Joe Dumars had done one of the dumbest trades of the decade, and I'm right there with him. That's the worst I've seen in a while. But meanwhile, the Nets also are not doing too good there in Brooklyn. There's a lot of chatter right now about specific teams maybe getting relocated. Memphis Grizzlies and also the New Orleans Pelicans, teams that are underperforming. Attendance is not very high at all. And those teams could not see a basketball team for the foreseeable future, as the league right now is monitoring situations in cities that they could tap into. Vegas has been one of the favorites to have an NBA team in the near future. Willie Green, he was first coach on my board last season to get canned, and it looks like they're going to still stick with him moving forward. I've seen some rumbling on coach, and his rotations is all kind of sorts. Zion now is out with a hamstring injury. I mean, the guy is never fully healthy. Jordan Poole not playing defense. Those guys in New Orleans on Canal Street are a hot mess. Things aren't going to get better for them. They're basically going to probably just tank the season and are eventually in a situation of where the team could get relocated. We've just broken down the clubs hitting highs and lows this week, so let's now shine the spotlight on individuals. Think of it as switching from the team highlight reel to the All-Star mixtape. It's time to call out our players of the week and see who's been lighting it up on the scoreboards out there. Players of the week this past week: SGA, OKC. SGA lit up Thunder fans by averaging 28.3 points, 4.5 boards, and 6.5 assists last week. He scored 30 plus in 3 of the 4 games. OKC went 4-0 there on the run to have one of the best starts in franchise history right now, as a game I will be going to on Friday. That's Kings and Thunder. Really looking forward to that. More a little bit on that later. OKC is undefeated so far, beating the Clippers last night in LA. The other guard comes out of Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love, Tyrese Maxey in the East. Maxey exploded for 33.5 points, 5.3 rebounds, and 9.8 assists per game last week. His playmaking helped the Sixers go 3-1. Overall, Maxey put up 33.5, 5.3, 9.8, while leading Philly to a 3-1 record. Both guards, stellar play, earned them Conference Player of the Week honors, and rightfully so. There was a lot of rumbling about possibly Austin Reeves not getting it, or Luka, as those guys both had a great week, or the Los Angeles Lakers, who take on the San Antonio Spurs. Love to see it though. Guards, point guards, getting the love in week number 2 here. From celebrating league standouts to diving into drama, buckle up. We're flipping the channel from pure highlights to a hardcore soap opera. Grab your popcorn because next up is the Ja Morant and Memphis saga, and this one has more twists than a full court crossover. Things in Memphis are not looking very great as there's a lot of chatter coming out of that camp. Morant has been suspended for 1 game by the Grizzlies for conduct detrimental to the team after remarks directed at his coaches following a loss to the Los Angeles Lakers. Last season, Coach Taylor Jenkins got canned and promoted their current head coach in Tomas Lasilo this season. Morant is averaging 20.8 points per game and 6.7 assists per game while logging a career low 28.5 minutes per game under their new head coach. His interaction with reporters after the Lakers loss, Ja Morant said, quote, according to them, probably don't play me. Honestly, that's what basically the message was after, close quote. Coach Lasilo commented on the situation and his rotation strategy, quote, all those discussions are internal matters, close quote. He also explained the shorter stint rotation with Morant, quote, like, it's a good question to ask. You might be sacrificing some chemistry within the units. We're after the best overall result in the short, medium, and long term, close quote. That's from SB Nation. Key takeaway here, Ja Morant remains highly productive by the numbers, but the minutes cap, rotation changes, and public tension raise serious questions about Ja's leadership fit and future direction in Memphis. Ja Morant has been a all-star in the league, 2-time All-Star. A couple seasons ago, he was one of the players that was supposed to be the poster boy for the NBA, got suspended the other season and got injured and missed about 33 games last season. The future right now for Ja, he's still young, but a lot of teams are not taking a lot of stock on him right now. The Sacramento Kings being number 1 favorites to land him, I think was around 38%. It would be something that the Sacramento Kings would do. More on that a little bit later. Rande Vive virtually does not give a shit about the team. The guy is more concerned about filling up the arena and increasing prices for a subpar product. Absolute dog shit of an owner here in Sacramento. When I say that, it's more so coming to the frustration on the roster construction. A lot of times teams have an identity and the Kings don't really have that. If I'm keeping it a buck right now, because other teams, you look around the league, you always see what their focus is on the team. With the Kings, they don't really have a true identity right now. I've been hearing some rumblings from the Kings. I'm not really happy with Coach Doug Christie and what he's doing with the Kings right now. Obviously, a player that played in Sacramento for several years. He's got a lot of backing from the city of Sacramento. At the end of the day, all what matters is the record that you're giving. All that memento and, hey, you're part of the team and all that can only go so far. Bobby Jackson, part of his coaching staff as well. So let's see what happens here in Sacramento as they have a 5-game homestand. Erase all that, speaking about the Kings, or just listen back to it and see if it makes sense. All right, to what's troubling in Memphis, I want to take a look at what is a bright spot for them. Fresh off of a sensational draft, rookie Cedric Coward has been a rare bright spot in Memphis. Coward is putting up 15.3 points and 5 rebounds per game, shooting an efficient 58.3% from the floor. In fact, his true shooting percentage is an eye-popping 74%, really rare for a rookie, underscoring how well he's finishing once he gets the ball. His emergence is especially welcome amidst the Ja Morant chaos right now on Beale Street. With Morant's status in flux, Coward's steady scoring and passing 2.5 assists per game provide the Grizzlies with a new playmaker. Coward's analytics suggest he's making the most of each possession, and his ability to hit threes at 48.3% clip and finishing at the rim is alleviating some of that pressure. In short, Coward's efficient all-around game is one of the few positives for Memphis this year. I saw the Lakers game. I was watching that on Halloween at a bar here in Sacramento, and I like Coward's game. I've been very high on him after watching some highlights, and so far he's looking good for a rookie, and the numbers back that up. I hope he continues to have a good season. He's one of those players that he's long and athletic, and is a true value to the league. That is exactly what teams are looking for. He can hit the three at a good clip. He can defend. He's long. That's exactly what you need from a player like him. And great pick from the Memphis scouting team. Enough drama for one game. Let's take flight to Orlando. Hocus pocus. It's time for the Magic. Specifically talking about Paolo Banchero, Desmond Bain, and their crew. We're trading in Memphis Grit for some Sunshine State sorcery. Trust me, the plays in Orlando can feel downright magical. All right, so Paolo Banchero and the Magic and their crew in the big old forward. Paolo Banchero remains the focal point of the Magic's offense. He's averaging 23.3 points, 9.3 rebounds per game this season, but some observers note that he holds the ball frequently and could involve his teammates a little bit more. Banchero's usage is extremely high at 28%, while his efficiency shooting percentage is at 56.5%. His scoring punch is undeniable, but improving ball movement could definitely improve the Magic and Paolo's game. Right now, he's averaging around 4 assists a game. I just think that Paolo's a player that's a little bit individualistic. He needs to be a little bit more of a team player. He distribute the ball to his teammates a little bit more. He's one of those players that reminds me of like, I need to get mine. You guys are my teammates, and that's cool. I'm here to get a bag, and I'm here to get a lot of points up on the board. He needs to be more of a team player as time goes by. I saw some trash talking that him and Tobias Harris in Detroit were having during the game most recently. And he was talking a lot of shit, but I just think that he needs to back up his play a little bit more. And this is a player that last postseason, he averaged 28 points, 4 assists, was shooting 43% from the field and 44% from three. Paolo and Franz are score first players, and I just really don't know if this is suitable for the long run. Want to hear what you guys think out there. What do you guys think about this duo? Is this sustainable for the future as well? This offseason, the Orlando Magic sharpshooter Desmond Bain joined the team, and he was brought in to space the floor, defend at a high level. Meanwhile, Jalen Suggs has returned from his knee injury, though head coach Jamal Mosley is on a pitch count with him. Last couple games, first and second games specifically, Suggs played 17 to 19 minutes in the first two games. During his limited action, he contributed 14 and 11 points in the opener and the second game. Bain himself praised Suggs as the heart and soul of the team. Suggs' role to grow gradually as the season goes by and also to get an uptick in minutes played during the games. Desmond Bain got ejected from the game, and these guys have some history this season already. Their game came down to the wire on October 25th in Orlando just a few days ago. The other week, when I was watching the highlights of this game towards the end of that stretch, 40 seconds left on the clock, Hawks up by two, and Paolo took a fadeaway three. I just didn't think that it was a good decision. He's a big guy. He could have drove it to the basket. Only down two. You don't need a three, and you're taking a fadeaway three. Are you kidding me? With the game on the line at home, at best, try to get to the rim and get to the free throw line. In that case, I thought it was a really bad play. And then also down the stretch, Trae Young, who's now out for 4 weeks. During this game, he was stuck on the sideline with a couple seconds left on the shot clock, and a foul was called on Franz Wagner. I just thought it was absolute dog shit overcall. The refs ruined the end of that game because it was a tight-knit game and they called a foul. I just don't think it was a foul at all. Feel free to look at the last couple of minutes of that game on October 25th in Orlando. And speaking about Desmond Bain, he banged the ball at O's head right after the play last night. The broadcaster had mentioned that he was defending his teammate. I don't know what he was talking about there. I didn't see what had happened with his teammate. It sounds like he was defending him. I just don't know the play as far as reference. I just gotta see it because I tried to look it up, but I had no luck. Last 4 games for Desmond Bain, 9 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists against the Hawks last night. 5 points, 5 assists, 2 steals against the Magic in the win. 9 points, 4 rebounds, 7 assists against the Charlotte Hornets in the win. And 12 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists in a loss against Detroit. Desmond Bain, this is a player that was traded, guys, for 4 first-round picks. You heard that right. 4 of them in 26, 28, 30, and then most recently in 25. And first-round swap. That's a lot of haul for low production so far this season. He got a big contract a couple seasons ago, and I just don't know if this guy has a lot of hunger left in him at all. You're with the team that's young and trying to prove themselves out there in the East. You guys heard my predictions with Mitchell and how far I thought that the Magic were going to go. And I thought that they had a really good chance to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. Obviously, it's still pretty early, but these guys have underperformed so far this season. It's time to dissect Sacramento Kings' defensive game plan. The Kings are known for playing with heart, and we're about to tip off a breakdown of how they're guarding the castle so far right here in Beamtown, Sacramento, California. Sacramento's difficult road trip ended in Denver, but a highlight was finally beating Milwaukee on November 1st. Their first win in Milwaukee since 2015. That's a whole 10 years. Despite that breakthrough, the Kings' defense remains a major concern. Sacramento ranks near the bottom of the league in defensive rating, about 118.7, 25th in the league, meaning opponents are scoring at will, especially in that painted area. Coach Doug Christie and Domas stressed communication, and Domas credited a lot of communication for helping hold off Milwaukee in that win. Improving on that and tightening rotation defense in the lane is essential. Quick numbers on the defensive end here for the Kings. I was able to run through some numbers here. Their defense forces opponents to turn the ball over almost 15 times, which ranks 17th in the league. And opponent turnovers per play is a bit over 12%, which is 18th in the league, near mid-table. In my eyes, you got to be in the top 10 in this category. A lot of things right now shaking up for the Kings. They just signed Precious Achua and just got let go of Isaac Jones, a fan favorite in the center, which has a lot of fans right now upset, and I get it. Isaac has a really great story coming out of the Pacific Northwest. It's unfortunate because a lot of fans right now are saying Saric would have been a better option to let go of, as he's barely even playing. Why are you going to let go of a younger player opposed to maybe an older player that's barely getting any minutes? But that's a theme here in Sacramento. I'm not so sure winning is really on the owner's long-term plans. I feel like he's just a money grabber and just wants to get as much money as possible. And things don't get any easier for the Sacramento Kings. Their next 5 home games: Warriors tonight, Thunder Friday, Timberwolves on Sunday, Nuggets next Tuesday, followed up by slightly banged up as Trae Young is out for 4 weeks. My prediction right now during that homestand right here in Sacramento is going to be 1-4. The only win coming against the Atlanta Hawks. Sabonis and Zach LaVine are both out tonight. You have 3 starters as a whole from last season out. Steph and Jimmy Butler are also out tonight. Two-way basketball is fun, but now we're heading into the stat lab. Time to crunch up those numbers in our analytics corner with the Don't Let Them Beat Us segment, run by the numbers. We'll draw up some charts and dig up into the X's and O's so hard that even advanced stats start doing a whole crossover. This data belongs to All NBA with Tim Legler. He posted it on Twitter and I was able to grab it. This is a chart that shows all of the ball handlers who have received at least 100 on-ball picks this season. There are 10 of them who have been blitzed the highest percentage of the time. All these ball handlers, I'll go through them right now: Devin Booker, Cade Cunningham, SGA, James Harden, Ben Brunson, Tyrese Maxey, Jordan Poole, and Trae Young. So on this list here, SGA scores the most points when he's not blitzed at 1.11 points per game, and followed by James Harden, Cade Cunningham, and Trae Young. Points per direct when blitzed, direct. So that's how many points they score when they get double teamed. Tyrese Maxey being at the top of this list, 1.5 points. Trae Young at 1.29 points, followed by Luka at 1.0. The rest are below a point as a whole. Devin Booker being the most blitzed doesn't surprise me at all. Pretty sure he's been at the top of this list the last 5-6 seasons maybe. I was surprised that Cade got the most picks at 266. The only other players getting this many on this list here at top 10 was SGA with 269 and Devin Booker at 222. So pretty cool little chart to look at. If you guys want to find it, just look up All NBA podcasts and you guys will find this list here. I thought it was pretty nice to see. Devin Booker gets blitzed 14.9% of the time. Luka 14.7%, Cade 14.3%, Steph 13.2%, SGA 13%, James Harden 12.8%, Jalen Brunson 10.50, Reese Maxey 9%, Jordan Poole 8.5, Trae Young 7.9% of the time. We're going to now move on to another chart that All NBA has for us here, and that's creating shots at a blistering pace. This is the most total passes leading to a shot through the first 6 games played of a season. That's 2013 through 2014 season through the first 6 games of the season of 2025 to 26. That's now. So it's no surprise that any of these guys are on the list. So before we speak about observations based on this list, players like Russell Westbrook, Rondo, Jokic, and Chris Paul are the only ones on this list. And my observations, it's not a surprise that any of these guys are on the list. I want you guys to keep in mind that this is only through the first 6 games of the season. Please keep that in context. The most ever was Russ, 195 passes leading to a shot a season before his MVP season in 2017 to 2018. Right now, Jokic is at 176 passes leading to a shot. That was a heavy playbook. So now let's hit the rewind. Time to recap the action from Monday's games. That's November 3rd, as I was locked in. Sit back while we run the tape on who showed in the stat lines, who stole the spotlight, and maybe who took an early bath. During this segment here, we're going to run through a couple games that I watched on Monday night. First up is the Lakers and Blazers. In a surprising road win, the Lakers, shorthanded without LeBron and Luka, and Austin Reeves, were led by rookie Nick Smith Jr., who had 25 points off the bench, 66% shooting from the field. LA won that 123 to 115. Big man Rui Hachimura and DeAndre Ayton, DA, each added 29 points in this balanced attack. This is a big statement win by the Lakers, especially not having your 3 most important players, your big 3, in the lineup. And Nick Smith Jr. was sick at halftime, and he came out and he absolutely had a field day with the Blazers. I think that Marcus Smart coming onto the team was a great addition. I saw that from day one. He brings a lot of fight and determination for this team. It just rubs off to players like Jake LaRavia, Jackson Hayes, and so forth. He's been in the league for a while and played with an organization like the Boston Celtics, who required nothing but excellence. And it was a great pickup at the end of the day. His hustleness and fight really rubs off to the rest of the players, and I love to see it. Next is just Jake LaRavia, man. He's been playing great as of lately, and he just has more confidence. And JJ Redick has given him that option to kind of go out there and just do his thing. Just go out there and just play your game. He's taking advantage of that. He's being really efficient, especially around the rim. He's shooting really good anywhere in that painted area, and he's getting deflections. He's playing great defense. He's doing the small little things, and that is what is going to get you playing time when it comes down to it in the NBA. You don't need to be a star. You can be a role player like Jake has been playing lately. He has been playing very good for them. I remember Jake playing against the Lakers a couple of seasons ago, and that was in March and April of, I believe, 2024. He had really good games against the Lakers. He had 28 points and 25 in the other. He was right here in Sacramento. I saw him in the lobby over there at the Sawyer Hotel. Great guy. Love to see it. Recently got married this past off season, and I'm really happy for the guy. I really love to see DeAndre Ayton having a good game against his former team. Both teams really struggle to shoot the rock from 3, very poor percentage from deep, but the Lakers win it, and very crucial win, as every single win matters in the West. Moving on now, let's speak on the Heat and Clippers. This one came down to the very wire. Powell, playing against his old team in the Los Angeles Clippers, was in that stance against Kawhi Leonard. He could have had the buzzer beater once again there in Inglewood. He missed the jumper. The Heat beat the Clippers on Monday night. I thought that Bradley Beal is starting to get better in shape, and he's more so looking like the player that we're accustomed to seeing in the past. It's going to take some time. He's been riddled with injury as of late, but I thought watching this game here, he feels like a little bit more like himself, and he's still on a minute restriction, which kind of sucks for him, as for a player that's really hard to navigate, because you have to play hard, but you also have to play the right way. Yes, you want to go out and get your own, but you also got to play team basketball. For him, it's a thing of balance. I'm sure once his minute restriction goes away, he's going to even feel more at peace. The Heat held off a late Clippers charge, winning 120 to 119. Miami's Bam Adebayo had 25 points and 20 rebounds to carry them, while sharpshooter Norman Powell chipped in 21 points. LA's James Harden had 29 and Kawhi had 27 in the fight back, but at last second Kawhi Leonard three-pointer rimmed out, and the Miami Heat win the game. There was a really nice sequence that I saw with Big Zoo, Harden, and Jones Jr. Those guys all each touching the rock, which ended up in a big slam dunk with Big Zoo with about 2 minutes left in the second quarter. Big Zoo, this guy gives a lot of hard screens. I want you guys to see Ivica Zubac's screens that he has throughout the games. They're really hard. This guy's big, is one of the biggest players in the NBA. When you get a screen off of him, you're really going to feel it. I saw one sequence where Davion Mitchell just ran a straight train into Big Z. He definitely could feel it. You could still see him shaking his hands. You could see that it was just a hard hit. That guy sets probably the hardest screens. If it's not him, then it has to be Steven Adams. When those guys set picks, man, you guys are going to feel them. Towards the end of that quarter there, Chris Dunn had a really silly foul on Norman Powell on the three. You got to be disciplined and still keep your feet on the floor. At the end of the day, Clippers lost this one very late. Could have had a buzzer beater by Kawhi, but not enough. We're going to now move on to the Sacramento Kings and Denver Nuggets. Denver never trailed in this one. They won 130 to 124. The Joker delivered a 34-point, 14 assists masterpiece to lead the Nuggets. Zach LaVine, after 3 games, over 30 points per game, was held to just 15, and the Kings had 7 players in double figures. Still not enough to win it. I just felt like the Kings did not meet force with force. Denver Nuggets, those guys are going to go at your body. They're going to go as hard as they can. We spoke about the Kings' defense, and the Denver Nuggets were just able to walk into the lane and get an easy layup or get an easy slam dunk. This is not going to cut it. Bottom of the league in defense. At least show some kind of fight and resiliency on the defensive end. I thought Russell Westbrook played very well. He plays very good against his former. Westbrook was making plays, but at the end of the day, he was making bad decisions towards the end of the game. We saw him get saved by Domas, who ended up getting a steal, and they got a bucket on the other end. David Adelman had challenged that. The call got overturned as Coach David Adelman challenged the call, and the Nuggets ended up getting the ball back instead of Russell Westbrook going through the line. Both coaches ended up making a challenge with less than 2 minutes left to go. We're seeing this more and more so with NBA head coaches where they challenge certain calls, because at the end of the day, if you're up, you might as well go for it. The worst that's going to happen is you lose a timeout. Keep an eye out for this when you guys are watching the games. Coaches are making challenges, especially if they're in the lead. Winding down our fourth quarter here, but before we sign off, let's talk about what's next. On November 7th, we've got the Thunder in town and the Warriors are in town right now. I'm getting done with recording around 6 p.m. here Pacific time on the West Coast. And I might go to the game, and if I do, I have some bonus scribbles for you guys after the buzzer. Before we sign off, huge shout out to our listeners everywhere. We see you in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, Rabat, Turkey, Brazil, Samsung, Edmonton, and beyond. Thank you for supporting the show. Your global energy keep us hyped. Keep sending your questions like Mitch did, comments, and even memes. We love hearing from you. Shot Clock Scribbles would not be the same without you. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Shot Clock Scribbles and subscribe on YouTube at TENDAI530 for more hoops content and behind the scenes clips. So keep an eye out on that. That's the buzzer for today. Keep scribbling those shot clocks. I'm Tendai, Sacramento, California, November 5th, 2025. And I'll catch you on the next play. And oh yeah, peace.